Hello all, it's the Bookworm, and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, please click the subscribe button to keep updated with our content and more audiobooks to follow. Today, we will be listening to the Tales of Deltora. I do hope you enjoy. The Tale of the Sorcerer. One dark night, a great storm raged on the wild west coast of the land of dragons. But the people of that territory went to their beds without fear. They were far away from the furious sea, safe and warm in the strong white city built by magic. They slept peacefully, knowing that the great amethyst that was their talisman protected them from harm. So only the fish and the birds of the shore heard the crash as a boat with a broken mast and tattered gray sail marked in the red was blown onto the treacherous finger of rocks that stretched deep into the silver sea. The people slept on as a boat splintered in the waves. They slept on as the sail was torn to rags by the wind. They slept on as the rain ceased and the moon sailed out from between the clouds. But when a drenched, cloaked figure crawled out from the sea and sprawled half dead upon the shore, a shiver ran through the white city, and the people woke. The storm had passed, but the shadow had fallen on their land, and they knew it was far more dangerous than any storm. As one, they rose from their beds and moved to the center of the city where the great amethyst lay on its table of stone. They stood together, every man, woman, and child, and their minds met. Far away on the shore, the sodden figure groaned and flinched. Rage mingled with fear and shock as he felt the banishing spell take hold of him, felt his limbs begin to tremble, and felt his heart go cold. Someone wanted him gone. Someone was daring to defy his will. He was a mighty sorcerer, but he had been sadly weakened. The banishing spell was strong. He knew that he could not resist it for long. He refused to be driven back to the sea which he had stolen his magic staff and almost taken his life. He closed his eyes, summoned all that remained of his strength, and took himself from place of torment, took himself north, instinctively knowing which way to go. He opened up his eyes, and he was in a rocky place, and mountains towered above him. The agony of the banishing spell had not merely weakened, but had gone as it had never been, for the people of the marble city were satisfied the shadow had lifted from their territory. When it went after, that was no concern of theirs. The sorcerer straightened his shoulders and smiled. He turned to survey the land, and he would make his own, and crouched before him was a dragon, vast and terrible. Its green scales glittered in the moonlight. Its eyes were like great flat emeralds, and steam drifted from the dripping jaws. The sorcerer felt its power and knew that he could not destroy it, so he tried to bargain with it. He offered it all the treasure his dark magic could provide, if only it would serve him. The green dragon eyes narrowed. Dragons are servants to no man, sorcerer, it hissed. We are servants of the land, and the land has no use for you. Begone. It breathed fire at the rock, sizzled. The sorcerer felt the heart sear his flesh, and his rose began to smoke. He removed himself from the dragon's sight, retreating deep into the mountains. The dragon did not follow him, and so the sorcerer learned that the depths of the mountains were not dragon territory. He was safe. In a dank cavern he rested and grew stronger. The foul things that sulked amidst the rocks were no threat to him. They fawned about him, drawn to his dark power. The sorcerer was safe, but he was not content. Rage burned within him. He had left the cave and prowled the mountains from one end to the other, awaiting his chance to swoop down upon the land. One of the ways he met more foul creatures, and also men and women, the ragged groups of bandits and killers who haunted the mountain depths. Rejoicing in his wickedness, the desperate souls gathered around him and followed him, willing to triumph. The sorcerer despised them, but he took them and used them for his purpose. They told him everything they knew of the land they had hated and the people they preyed upon. They showed him all the secret ways that led down through the mountains into the land of dragons. But their secrets were no secrets to the protectors of the land. Every way the sorcerer tried was guarded by dragons, and no dragon would let him pass. In fury, he turned away from the land of dragons, telling himself that it must wait. He ordered his followers to lead him through the mountains to the other side. The land there would be his first domain. His followers whimpered, but he snarled and burned their minds until they did as he wished, so they led him to a place where he could see the most beautiful green land that lay to the mountains north. Then the sorcerer found that this land too was barred to him. No dragons guarded its borders, but the very air was magic. Morning, noon, and night there came a sound that repelled him and pierced him to the bone. Now his fury and hatred were so great that his heart like a burning coal in his chest. He swore to own the lands that had defied him. He swore to own them every stick and stone. He swore to tear out their hearts. He swore to slaughter their beasts, smash their rocks, and burn their trees. He swore to crush their people underneath his heel. He would force them to call him master. Raging, he returned to his den in the west, and his followers stumbled after him, for now they were slaves to him, his will, and were creatures of body and soul. For years they served him, as he plunged deeper into dark magic, as he gathered knowledge of his prey and made his plans. He made them crawl before him, treated them like beasts, but none of them dared to leave him. They kept company with the vile monsters of the rocks, living only to do as their master's bidding, and they watched in terror as his power grew ever so stronger.